Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division with the tournament win for the Northern Open tournament here in Golf Clash the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. You can get the best guides on the market by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Can we get this video up to 500 thumbs up? That would be absolutely insane and I would be very thankful. You can also follow the info box on the right hand side for the elevation, the club distance adjustment, what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. And have in mind you don't have to follow what I do suggest, but there's always a plan behind it on this very interesting course, or like courses, because we're gonna play a mix of the Maple Bay and the Nordic Fjords. Enough talking about that, and let's go to hole number one. For hole number one, we're gonna play with the rock, and we're gonna do that by playing on the left hand side. And here I'm gonna play with a katana ball because I want the win 2 and I want the power 2. Side spin's not so necessary here in my opinion. 4 bars of top spin, and I'm gonna play with half a bar of side spin to the right in the end. And I'm looking to be at with the red ring by the rough line to the right as a starting point. And with the rock level 7, I am in complete maximum distance. Have in mind that the rock level 8 and 9, especially level 9, does have more power than the rock level 7. So you do need to back up a little bit from max distance so you don't go too far. So adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment here. And then it's time to take the shot. So we get the very nice bounce and we get the ball to more of the right side of the fairway, but not being close to the rough line at all. 333 yards. For the second shot, we really need to estimate in what type of club distance we are in. And this one is going to be played 60% slider, which is medium distance, adding 0.2 rings with the Grizzly. I'm using the top of the yellow ring to be by the rough line. No spin whatsoever here, but I do want to, however, recommend you to back up to use the red ring by the rough line instead, and still have the ball guideline slightly through the hole, but that you will have by adding a little bit of topspin. The reason I want you to do that is for the thing that happens now. Now I'm going to adjust the medium distance, and I'm adding the 2 decimals as well. It clips the rough and it comes pretty hot towards the pin. And so for 2 reasons we're gonna back up. 1, we came in a bit too hot. 2, we are clipping the rough just on the very edge of the rough, and we do not want to play with those minor margins, because if we in an accidental way add a little overpower with our shot, we will see our ball not clip the rough at all. So we need to back up, give ourselves room, and then we're gonna have a good chance still making an eagle on hole 1. For hole number 2, we are going to play a rough bump, and that we're gonna do with our sniper. Here, the level of the sniper doesn't really matter, as we're still gonna have the backspin needed for this shot. You can see I play with 2.1 backspin and 1 bar side spin to the right. And now we're looking for the ball guideline to be going just to the hole. We kind of don't want the ball to go through the hole if we can stay away from that. And we're having the top of the yellow ring to be just by the edge of the rough. This is a perfect position, and now we are just, in this example, I do adjust with a medium distance with a 20% over adjustment. And the thing that we're looking for here is the ball to take the curve that is gonna come and fall down towards the pin. The problem we have here is that we come in a little bit too high in the rough and the ball doesn't take the curve as we want to, and that's why I would recommend you to play medium distance with a 25% over adjustment instead. That's a difference of 0.2 decimals. So like 0.2 decimals is what we're looking for to get this shot in a little bit better way. I do believe that the rough bump will be the absolute best way to make an hole-in-one on hole number 2. For hole number 3, we're gonna use the rock once again, and the reason we're using the rock is due to its accuracy and also its ball guideline, but especially the accuracy here on hole 3. Red ring by the rough line using 4 bars of topspin and 2 bars of side spin to the right. I would, if you could, recommend you to push up here. So we are going to push up our drive 2 rings, and I would, in this case, recommend you to push up even a little bit more, to push up 2.5 rings with your shot. Now I'm using 3/4 of a ball outside the adjustment ring to the right, but I would recommend you to play with 1 ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right instead. Not because we have a bad drive here, but we're getting too close to the rough line here in the end, because the fairway kind of slopes right to left. So we do need to make sure that we, with a great left for an example, not getting stuck into the rough. When that is done, then we're gonna play with a sniper over towards the pin. Here the backspin and the side spin will vary depending on how far you reach on that platform. And now we're going to have tailwind for the second shot, so make sure that you leave the ball guideline short of pin when you're taking this shot. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10 from maximum distance. So if you are a little bit less than maximum distance, you have to reduce a little bit for your adjustment. And here in the end you can see me playing with a Kingmaker, which obviously has a little bit more side spin than what a Titan is having. But the thing here that I would like to advise you the most is to leave the ball guideline short, because in tailwind the ball will come in hot, and that would be devastating to have a wrestle like we did have here, where we hit the pin and bounce out. Hole number 3 is going to be the toughest of the holes in this tournament to get something to drop on, but in the end, if we can just make the drive correct, we are always going to have a chance with our sniper. For hole number 4, we're gonna make a decision. Either we're going to use a power 5 ball combined with the big topper, or we're gonna use a power 3 ball combined with a club that gives us minimum 64 in stat when it comes to topspin, which is 5.8 bars. You can see that I leave the second bounce to be approximately 1 ring from the bunker. I would strongly advise you to leave it 2 rings before the bunker, because otherwise you risk going directly into the bunker completely. One thing to have in mind with your adjustment here, make sure that your wind angle is pointing straight at north. If it's not pointing straight at north, you're gonna have an issue, as you will most likely not get it to the distance that you need to. If you have too much pointing like center right, then your ball gonna go directly into the bunker. If you have it too much center left, you're gonna fall short, and the second bounce is gonna be into the bunker. I'm adding a click of curl to the left in the end, just to help our ball go to the left. If you do play with a big topper and a berserker ball, then I would strongly advise you once again to go with a bit more curl than what I was using. Let the ball be halfway through the adjustment ring to the left as to compensate, because you only have 2 bars of side spin. But once again, we're looking to do a double bounce over the bunker. Make sure you position yourself correctly, and make sure you choose your club and ball wisely. I don't want to see you having a low level big topper trying to manage with a power 1 ball. Use a berserker ball, which you can win for free in the golden shot, so you get over and get it close to the green. Because if you don't get it close to the green, you're gonna lose a shot towards like against your opponents, because those players will drop this shot more times than not. So max plus 10 for the adjustment. Hole number 4 is a must eagle, but again, it all comes down to the ball and the club that you choose. For hole number 4, I'm going to give you an adjustment that is going to be a bit, more technical than we're used to here. And the reason for that is this is a very tough hole to find a consistent landing position, because we don't really have many references. So the thing that I do is that I start with a power 5 ball. Doesn't matter which one, you can start with whatever. Then you find minimum distance with your sniper and the white ring by the rough line. Then you add 4 bars of topspin, and you add half a bar of side spin to the left. Then you change to a navigator. and then you will get the wind. So 6.6 miles per hour, and then you adjust 6.6 rings. Okay? The ball will then bounce nicely down, and we avoid the glitchy parts that is very easy to get on this hole. And then obviously we need a little luck to get the hole in one. But this is, in my opinion, a brilliant way to have a firm landing position. We stay away from the glitch and have a good chance for a hole in one. So Navigator Sniper, mid +10 power, 3 numbers. For hole number 6, I'm gonna play with the rock, and here I'm using 4 bars of topspin, and I'm using as much side spin to the right possible. Blue ring by the rough line and starting at +5. Have in mind that if you play with a higher level the rock or lower level the rock, you won't be having the same type of power, which means that you're gonna have to focus on other things, and that's why we're gonna start again. Because now, once you have added spin, look at your second bounce. So when we do position ourselves, look for the second bounce and the third bounce. The third bounce should be approximately 1 ring into the rough at the top. And that is an excellent reference to use if you don't play with the rock level 7. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with no elevation, and then in the end it's time to go with curl. And the curl is going to be 1 ball outside the adjustment ring to the right. And obviously now we do need to try to hit perfect, which we do. And we are looking to get up to a yardage that is around 345 or better. Shorter than 345 yards will, in the end, require you to go with overpower, especially if you're using sniper. So, now for the second shot, I do have the sniper and the horizon as suggested clubs in the info box. If you do have a sniper level 8+, you play with a sniper. Otherwise, you go with the horizon instead to compensate for the less power you have on the sniper 7. The thing that we're looking for is a good ball guideline. We're not gonna use any spin really. We're just gonna try to position ourselves with the ball guideline to the hole, with the tip of the ball guideline showing to be approximately 2 to 3 green squares before the pin. This shot is kind of famous to come in too hot. And that is something that we do need to have in mind when we take our shot. That if we aren't hitting the pin, we might be unlucky and roll in and out of the hole. Because it's, once again, very difficult, even if you offset like I do here with our ball guideline, then it's very difficult for us to get the spin that get the speed that we're looking for. Adjustment from absolute max distance is maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and here honestly we're just unlucky not getting this ball in the hole. Good chance on hole number 6, but once again the drive is everything. Make sure you do a good drive so you do have room to play with your sniper, otherwise it's gonna have to be the horizon. For hole number 7, I'm not thrilled about the wind that we're having here, because this creates an advantage for those players playing with a 240 yard driver. And playing with an Apocalypse level 4, which only have 234 yards, is going to make it very difficult for us to do anything else than just trying to lay up. So the thing that I'm looking for here is to use max side spin to the right. I'm also using 3.5 bar of topspin. I'm in the end here trying to change to a Kingmaker, but then he's gonna have to go with a push-up or overpower, and that's why I stay with a power 5 ball instead, to not having to go with overpower or to push up anything. Maximum distance +10, and then we're going to go with curl, and I'm using 1 ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. The plan here is to get the ball to bounce on the fairway and to get this ball over nicely on the other fairway to leave ourselves up for a short iron to the pin. Just to touch base once again, why do I think there is a great big advantage for those of you having an Apoc 5+, which is a driver with 240 yards, is because then you can go for green directly. Unfortunately, I don't play with those type of clubs in pro, which is that's why I'm not showing you a video. But if you do have an Apoc 5+, use a power 5 ball with as low wind resistance possible. So like a summer ball, snow globe ball would be better than the berserker ball, so you can get as much wind possible, and then you're trying to go for green by using the right side of the fairway. Sure, you might sometimes get it into the rough or into the sand or something like that, but you will be so close to the green that the chance for an eagle will still be there. But those playing with lower level clubs or clubs that is below 235 yards will be so dependent on what type of wind and wind angle you have that it's going to be like a hit or miss. It's going to be like a 50-50, and I don't really like to play on 50-50 when we can try to get into short arm range instead. But that is up to you, obviously, what you want to do. I wanted to at least address it here. Now I play medium distance plus 10. It's a little bit too little, as you're gonna notice, but I'm using 1 bar of backspin, aim for the pin. And if you do have Thorn 7 or below, which means that you do not have a ball guideline that is above 4.0, which means that you cannot see the tip of the ball guideline as good as you can on the higher level short irons. So you have to guesstimate a little bit how it looks, and now we come very close. Just a decimal more, we will be having that one in the bag. But this hole is interesting. Again, I do think it creates a big advantage for those with higher level clubs, but in the end, if we lay up, we still have a good chance dropping a mid-distance short iron, which in the end is something that we should be used to play nowadays. For hole 8, which is the last of the par 3s, we're going to play with the Grizzly, and we start in plus 6 yard mark with the Grizzly level 7. Blue ring by the rough line, and then we're going to add spin. And here I want us to play with 3.2 backspin, not 3.5 that I'm having here. Also want you to go with 1.2 bar side spin right, okay? 1.2 bar side spin to the right. And then the adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment. And once again, we're tweaking the par 3 here because I'm not really satisfied with the result and the way that I played here in this example. So I did play this one just to give you what you saw here. 3.5 backspin, 0.8 side spin to the right, and max plus 15. And we are way too much to the left. So 1.2 side spin to the right, 3.2 bars of backspin, and max plus 15 with the Grizzly. And then you're gonna see yourself being close or getting the ball in the hole. For hole number 9, we're going to go with the rock again as a driver. This to give us power, but also gives us accuracy, because now we're looking to get the ball as far down the fairway possible, but obviously not getting into the rough. And to then help us, if we do hit a great left or a great right, the rock is a perfect driver to use. Adjustment is going to be with the spin, 4 bars of top spin, and then also 2 bars of side spin to the left. Then we're going to adjust for a maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. Once that is done, I would recommend you to push up here. In this case, we're going to push up 1.5 ring, but that is with the rock level 7. If you do play with the rock level 8 or level 9, I would recommend to push up only 1 ring and to just be correct with our details. The ball comes down very nicely on the fairway, and you can see that we do have a lot of room as well, but this is absolutely a perfect drive. If you can get somewhere between 350 and 360 yards with your drive, that's brilliant. Now we're going to play with our sniper. Now we're going to go a double bounce into the rough. So we're going to have first bounce on the fairway, second bounce into the rough, and then roll up towards the pin. This is a play that I played the first time this hole came out into the game. So I'm using 2 bars of topspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right, ball guideline to the hole, and then we're going to have to obviously estimate what type of club distance we are at. But in this case, I played medium distance plus 10, which is 6.5 rings for a 6.5 miles per hour. Perfect ball. And we're going to see this ball coming very nicely, and it bounces and then into the rough, and then it rolls towards the pin, and we are just burning the edge there once again. A lot of burning edges here so far in this video. So we needed a decimal more, but once again, you do need to estimate your club distance and then base your adjustment based on that. Obviously, with a perfect drive, now we know that we're gonna be playing at medium distance and then adding 1 decimal with a 10% over adjustment. I would say this is the best way to make, the best chance to combine with hole number 6 to make an albatross. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough with the tournament win for Pro Division in the Northern Open Tournament. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure you get your package on patreon.com/golfclashtommy for the best guides on the market. In the end, thank you once again for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.